Thank you. Over to you, Maddie.
Thanks very much, Vicky. Hello, everyone. Fantastic to see you all here today. So my name is Maddie Finden, and the Leadership in Early Years Education rig is one that's been, oh, I suppose it might even be coming up for a decade now. Um, and over the years, I've had a variety of co-conveners, and we've had periods of lots of activity, periods of much less activity. But I'm delighted to say that over the last, oh, has it been about 6 months or so? I've been introduced to my wonderful co-conveners, Leslie and Vicky, and we thought we'd take the opportunity to have a meeting with you all, just to talk about all of the exciting things that we have got planned for the next year or so. Yes, we've got this welcome slide here, so you can take a good look at us and identify us. And so, just a little bit of background about myself. Quite clearly, my background is early years education. I started, working in inverted commas during my own childhood, because the law is that if your mother has a nursery, then you must grow up helping her at the nursery. So that's how I got started. I did have a period of rebellion at one point and thought I was going to be an actress, but no, it turns out that if you cut me open, I'm a teacher all the way through. Oh, Chris Malone. It was Chris's father that forced them to work for them. So there we go. Um, yes, I have worked in the UK and in Spain. I got early as professional status when that was a thing, and eventually moved into academia. My interests are around creativity in early years education, inclusion, and of course, leadership. And so here I stand before you today. I'd like to pass you over to Leslie now.
Hi, everybody. Lovely to be here with you today. So my name's Leslie Boyle. I'm one of the newest recruits, I think, to Belmas. I haven't been part of this organisation for very long, but I'm delighted to be here along with Vicky and with Maddie as a co-convener for the Early Years Rig. So my background is, years and years ago, I decided that I wanted to be an educational psychologist, and in those days, you had to go and do 2 years of teaching. But once I set foot in the reception classroom, I never really looked back, and I didn't want to do anything else. So I've been in early years for a very long time. I've held various positions in maintained nursery schools, and ended up as head of school before I came to University of Hertfordshire. So I've been there for about 5 years, and I'm the early years lead for initial teacher training. So that's basically me. You could probably tell from my accent that I wasn't born in this country. I am Zimbabwe born and grew up in South Africa before coming here in my early 20s, and have lived here ever since. So really nice to be here. Over to you, Vicky.
Hi, thank you, Leslie and Maddie. So I'm based at St Mary's University in Twickenham, and I'm originally from Southall in West London. So I've grown up in a very multicultural background. My mother did an NNEB when I was 10, 11 years old. And I think that's where my love affair with early years began. I've worked in home-based childcare, but I am trained as a primary school teacher and have worked predominantly within schools before moving into lecturing at St Mary's, where I lead in early years and primary education on our QTS work-based routes, and do a little bit on the PG program. And I'm trying to gradually draw more people into masters and PhD study who have that early years background too.
Wonderful. On to who this network is for. So we're quite a broad church here in the Leadership in Early Years Education Research Interest Group. We're open to all educational leaders, researchers, practitioners, research students. If you have an interest in furthering your understanding of what leadership looks like in the early years context and fostering strong links between research and practice, then we would love to have you along. We welcome everyone from all kinds of backgrounds, whether they're professional or academic, whether you're specialists in the early years sector itself or related and interested parties, local authorities, wherever you come from, we would be delighted to have you here.
Okay, so just to make it clear about why it would be lovely to have you, we thought we might outline some of the benefits that that it has to be participating. So Belmas has, I think, about 75 countries. Deb, you might be able to correct me with this. So we really want to give you an opportunity to network with people, with like-minded people in the UK, but also abroad. And we do host a number of events, and many of them will have an early years focus. So we would really encourage you to be part of all this. And I think it's really important that we have these opportunities to share, to collaborate. We're all real advocates for the profession, which is sometimes a little bit goes under the radar a little bit. So it's really a great opportunity for you to, well, for us really to come together and share our ideas, but also steer the research in the direction that we think we want it to go. You know, the important things that are about childhood and leadership and so on. So we think it's really important that you have the opportunity to have your voice in this as well.
So we have a number of things that we've planned for the next academic year that are coming up in 2026 and 2027. So first of all, we have today's meeting, but we also have an in-person and online conference rig meeting on Friday the 3rd of July from 12 till 1 in the Princess Suite. So those of you who are joining us in Cardiff, we'd love to see you there. And if you can't come along, then we'll be in touch with ways that you can join us remotely. We also have a panel at this year's conference, which takes place on Saturday at 9 a.m. in the Duchess Suite. And we're in the process of putting together a book proposal with Myers Education Press that we'd like to tell you a little bit more about today.
Hi, we had a meeting with the other research interest groups, and Myers Education, I've got the name totally wrong. Myers Education Press, yes. Are interested in doing a series of books on educational leadership with an international focus. And given the fact that we are sadly aware that the field of literature around educational leadership in the early years is significantly smaller than many other areas, this was a fantastic opportunity for us to grasp. It's going to be a book of approximately 10 chapters. Each chapter is going to be around 5,000 words. And what we are doing today, and we will do more broadly through later communications via Belmas, is to call for expressions of interest for chapter contributions. So we are particularly interested in chapter proposals that are about the constructs and diverse practices of early years education leadership, contemporary issues for early years education leaders, and sustainable strategies for sector-wide leadership development. And of course, because there is an international focus and Myers themselves have an international readership, we would be looking at proposals that are not just focused on England or the United Kingdom, but much more widely as well. So if any of that sounds interesting or relevant to you, then please do consider sending us your proposal.
Okay, so if you are, and we hope you will be, if you are interested, and these are the steps to take. So what we would like is a 50 100-word bio. So that just shares your background and or academic credentials. So for every contribution, we need an individual bio. And then a 200-word abstract. We're trying to make this not too onerous for everybody, but we would just like to know one or two sentences that outline your general focus or your specific issue, any examples of existing theories or research around this, and then just a statement about how this chapter contributes towards our understanding of leadership in early years education. Oh, very important. The deadline, we thought we'd give you the summer. So the deadline is the Monday, the 7th of September, if you could get those to us. Maddie, where is the, just the logistics of it all? Where will we collate these?
So I've been in conversation with Cynthia and a couple of colleagues from another research interest group this morning. We're going to set up a submission portal. So we will get that sent out. That will be a Belmas communication, which will have the instructions that we put on these slides today, plus a button that you can press, and that will take you to the submission point.
Thank you. So we told you a little bit about what we have planned, and we hope that you'll be along for the ride. We will, as Maddie said, be sharing details of how you can submit your expressions of interest. There are, Deb's just put in the chat, there are other Belmas publications, but there is also this out, which may interest some of you too. So there are other publications, but this is one that you may particularly be interested in getting involved in terms of sort of having journal publications, but also having the opportunity to publish as part of an edited text. But ultimately, this is your rig, and what we'd like to do for the rest of this session is answer any questions you have before we give you a reminder of those opportunities to meet in person coming up in Cardiff. So we'd like to give you the opportunity to ask some questions about what's going on and how you can be involved with the book or with the special edition. And we're lucky to have Deb here, who will be able to give some guidance on that too, but also about what else you'd like to see from us as a rig, what else would be beneficial to you in your roles. So I wonder, Cynthia, if perhaps we should stop recording so that we can open the floor to an open conversation without anybody worrying about being recorded, if that's okay, please.